These top 5 classroom games provide fun ways to engage your students in academic learning, without them even realizing it. 1. Charades. This simple but classic game is a great way to encourage your student to get out of their seats and participate in the lesson. Game. Select a student to stand at the front of the room and act out a word from your list, no speaking allowed. The rest of the class must then guess what the student is attempting to portray. Other students can shout out their guesses or put their hands up, depending on your teaching preference. Whoever guesses correctly can act out the next word. 2. Hangman. A traditional but interactive game that improves students' spelling and subject knowledge but is also enjoyable. Game. Divide your class into 2 teams, then select a student to stand at the front of the class and think of a word related to the lesson, or you could give them a suitable word. The student must then draw spaces on the whiteboard to represent each letter in their word. The rest of the class then guesses the word, one letter at a time. Allow one student from each team to guess alternately. Incorrect guesses result in a hangman being drawn, one line at a time. The first team to guess the word wins unless the hangman is completed. The game then repeats with another student thinking of a relevant word. 3. Scattergories. This fun game will encourage your students to think outside the box and draw on a range of subject knowledge. Game. Split students into small groups and ask them to note down the categories on their pieces of paper. Choose a letter, A to Z, at random and give students 1 to 2 minutes, depending on how many categories, to think of a word for each category, beginning with that letter. Once the time is up, allocate points for unique answers, i.e., if 2 teams write down the same word for a category, then neither get any points. Repeat the game with different letters. 4. Bingo. A quick and simple game that never fails to motivate students in their learning. Game. Ask students to draw a 6x6 grid on their whiteboards or pieces of paper, then select 6 words or images from the given list to draw, right in their grid. You must then randomly select a word from the list to describe, and students must guess the word to cross it off on their grid, if present. Continue describing different words until one student successfully completes their grid and shouts, "Bingo!" You can also award a prize to the first student who gets 3 in a row. 5. Puzzles. This creative group game encourages students to work together and visualize academic concepts in an abstract way. Game. Separate your class into groups, or simply use table groupings, then hand out a puzzle for each group to piece together.